Hey everyone, so today we're going to dive into this really simple but honestly super powerful idea, the domino effect. We're going to see how just one tiny action can kick off a chain reaction that changes absolutely everything. And we'll do it all through a simple story.
All right, so let's get right into it. Our whole story kicks off, not with some huge dramatic event, but actually with a super simple moment of curiosity. But you'll see, it's a moment that led to a massive lesson.
Okay, so first up, let's meet our guy. His name is Madov, and he's just a normal kid, living in this small, quiet town. Nothing special about him on the surface, but he's about to stumble onto something, well, pretty extraordinary.
So just imagine this for a second. Madhav spots this long, perfect line of dominoes all set up. And, what would you do? He does exactly what any of us would probably do. He gets that little itch of curiosity and just gives that first one a little nudge. And that's when it starts. You can almost hear it, right? That super satisfying click, click, click as one domino hits the next. This perfect wave just flowing down the line until, boom, the very last one falls. So right there, as he's looking at all these dominoes lying flat, it hits him. This huge realization just clicks in his head. He's thinking, wow, all of that from just one tiny push. He didn't know it then, but man, he had just learned one of the biggest lessons in life. Okay, and this is where it gets really interesting, because Madhav takes this lesson, this idea, and decides to actually use it in his own life. He starts thinking, hey, if one small push can knock down a whole line of dominoes, maybe one small good action can start a whole chain reaction of success for me.
So what was his first domino? What was that one little push? He just decided to wake up 20 minutes earlier. That's it. So simple, right? But check out the chain reaction it started. Because he was up earlier, he suddenly had time for a quick workout. Because he exercised, he felt way more energetic during the day. With more energy, he could focus better in class. And when he focused better, his grades started to climb. And of course, as his grades improved, his self-confidence just skyrocketed. It all started with that one tiny push.
So, fast forward a few years, Madhav's now this really successful guy. And you know how it goes, people start coming up to him asking that one question. What's the secret? How'd you do it? And they're totally expecting some big, complicated answer, some grand strategy. But hold on. Before we get to his answer, we have to understand something really, really important. This whole principle, it's totally neutral. The dominoes, they don't care which way they fall. And to really get that, we need to look at the story of his friend, Satyaki. See, his friend Satyaki, he started a chain reaction too. He also pushed a domino in his own life. But his first push, it was completely different, and it seemed so small, so harmless at the time. So what did he do? He decided to skip school. Just once. He told himself, it's just one day, what's the big deal? But that one day made it so much easier to skip the next day. And pretty soon, that one day became a habit. That habit, of course, led to his grade slipping, to poor performance. And poor performance, over time, it just turned into flat-out failure. And that failure, man, it just chewed away at him and turned into this massive cloud of self-doubt. So here's the kicker, right? The domino effect was working just as powerfully for Satyaki as it was for Madhav. His dominoes were falling with the exact same force, the same momentum. The only difference, and it's the only difference, was the direction of that very first push. And this just lays it all out so perfectly, doesn't it? You've got these two stories, one of success, one of struggle, and they are both driven by the exact same principle. It's this idea that life, it's basically just a series of dominoes waiting to be pushed. So, okay, let's just nail down the definition. The domino effect is pretty simple. It's the idea that small, consistent actions, and it doesn't matter if they're good or bad, they will quietly start to add up, to compound, and they will always lead to much, much bigger results over time. Think about it. Small, good habits build an amazing future, while tiny little mistakes can create massive problems down the road. The effect is always on, always working.
Yeah, and what's so cool about this is how it just puts it all right there in front of you. Just look at their starting points. Waking up 20 minutes early versus skipping one day of school. On their own, they seem so small, almost meaningless, right? But then look at the end result. They are worlds apart. One path leads to success and feeling great about yourself, and the other leads to failure and self-doubt. And it all goes back to that first tiny little domino.
So, naturally, this brings the whole thing back to us, to you and me. I mean, it's great to see how it worked out for Madhav and Satyaki, but the real question is, how does this apply to our lives right here, right now?
And this is the answer Madhav would give people. When they'd ask him for his big secret, he'd just kind of smile and say, "There was no big secret. I just pushed the first domino." He got it. He understood that real success isn't about some massive one-time heroic act. It's about choosing the right small thing to do, and then just doing it over and over again.
And that's really what it all comes down to, isn't it? It leaves us with this one big question. The dominoes in your life, they're gonna fall. That's a guarantee. You can't stop them. The only thing you actually have control over is that very first push. So the question isn't if they're gonna fall, it's in which direction. Which domino are you pushing today?